Hey, good morning. This is Jeremiah from MoreDirectBooking.com, and normally I talk a lot about strategy and approaches, techniques that you can use to help your hotel get more direct bookings. But this is a little different because I know we're all human. We all have our patterns, our old behaviors that we fall back to. So even if we're looking at something and we see it's the best thing since sliced bread, I know that 95% of us won't really pick it up. We won't really use it, and that means we won't get the gains that we deserve. So today is going to be a little different. Today I'm going to show you Brian Tracy's trick for taking responsibility of your life. Now, this is something that I learned from him last week at his debut documentary on his life, Maximum Achievement. This was a really stirring story of somebody that went from being a manual laborer to running multi-million-dollar businesses and speaking in front of over 5 million people over the course of his life. That's what taking responsibility can do for you. Now, I was lucky enough to get the mic and ask him a question during this Q&A session, and I asked him, hey, I know that taking responsibility is so important, but if we say I'm going to do it on Monday, but then Tuesday gets busy, and Wednesday, by Wednesday we've completely taken our eye off the ball, then how do we know how responsible we are? I mean, how can we see how much we are taking responsibility for our lives? And he gave a really amazing answer, which I'm going to show you here. He told a story about when he was young and he had to wear charity clothes, and they were very poor, and he didn't have all the stuff that other kids had in the neighborhood, and it really got him down. It really made him feel like a poor boy. It made him feel like he wasn't good enough. He didn't get any compliments from his father until he was 12, and this left him with a lot of hard feelings. Now, I'm telling you this because he said that in a large psychological survey that was done, that the main words that really described people's main problem, the things that was holding them back in their life, the main words that people always used were these two little words: if only. Now, if only I had had more money in my family, if only I had had nice clothes, then I would be able to have confidence, then I would be able to move forward. That was the excuse that he was telling himself. And I want you to stop and think about that for a little bit in your own life, and think about the times when you should have taken action. You should have motivated yourself. You should have picked up the phone. You should have called those clients, but you didn't. Was it because you were afraid? Lacking confidence? Were you shamed? Did you make excuses that you were busy? Well, at that point, these two little words are creeping into your life, and they're eroding your forward momentum. They're eroding the energy that you need to make forward progress, to take responsibility for your life. And that brings us to a really important point, and that is we need to find the core of what's holding us back. Find the thing that's holding you back, the thing that's taking your energy, and then let it go. So taking these two little words, if only, let's see how we can use them for our advantage. So again, let's go back to the example of calling a client and you're very nervous, and you say, well, if only I had more training, then I would be able to call them. Okay, well, what is it about the training? You didn't get enough training? Well, you say, well, if only my boss would have been nicer to me and given me more training. Okay, well, what is it about that? He's not nice to you, or you don't have a good relationship there. Well, if only I would have made a better impression during my first interview, then he would have respected me more. Okay, well, why didn't you make a good impression? Well, if only I would have been on time. Well, again, why weren't you on time? Well, if only. We can keep pulling at this thread until our excuses unravel and we find the thing that's really, really at the root cause. And a lot of times we find that root cause is something that happened a long time ago, some emotion, something that happened that we need to stop and we need to forgive. We need to take the energy away from that thing so that we can then let it go. The reason we need to do that is that Brian said, nature abhors a vacuum. So when you take the negative power away from the past, it's much easier to fill that space with positive energy. It's easier to tell yourself, yes, I'm the kind of person that wakes up early, and I'm the kind of person who prepares for the interview. I'm the kind of person who looks great in a suit. I'm the kind of person who shows up 15 minutes early, completely prepared to make a good impression. I'm the kind of person that gets training, that has confidence, that picks up the phone and calls clients in a friendly way because I know I'm talking to them from a position of power. That's the positive energy that you need to move your life forward, but it can only happen when those negative self-thoughts, self-whisperings disappear. So this is really funny. I'll flash back to Brian's story, and when he was younger, one of his girlfriends actually told him this long before he met his wife. He was complaining, he was making excuses that he wasn't good enough or whatnot because his father never gave him a compliment. He was dressed poorly, he didn't get the education that he wanted, and now he was stuck in dead-end menial labor jobs. Well, his girlfriend at the time was very ornery, and she turned to him and said, "Hey, your father is what got you here. So get over it. Get on with your life." That kind of slapped him around, and it kind of showed him that it's not what we're facing today. It's not the challenge that we're facing today that's the problem. It's the challenge back there that we still can't get over. So ask yourself, if you're making excuses in your daily life, if you're whispering, if only this, if only that, and if so, well then you've got some forgiving to do before you can really move forward. That's how you can take responsibility. That's how you can achieve the success you deserve. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope to talk to you soon.